From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Several central Indiana schools are making schedule changes as the number of coronavirus cases continues to surge. Now at 4:30, what you and your student need to know this morning. Plus, a renewed call for retired hospital workers to join the fight against the coronavirus as hospital systems become overwhelmed. The message from state health leaders. As President Trump's team prepares to mount a fight against the election results, President-elect Joe Biden is beginning to form his transition team. This morning, the latest on the ongoing 2020 election cycle. But first, here, we want to wish you a good morning and a happy Monday from our team. I'm Lauren Casey, and Todd Clausen is standing by this morning with some great news in the forecast. Todd, it has been beautiful the past few days. You are the man of the week.
Yeah, you know, record high yesterday. Lauren got all the way up to 79 degrees. We have the potential to most likely do it again today. And then tomorrow, it'll be very close, but we could potentially break the record high. So 3 days in a row, potentially of record high temperatures across the area, and it's November. You cannot beat that right now. It's great as you walk out the door and get going on this Monday morning. 61 in Bloomington as well as Lafayette, 60 in Muncie right now, 59 in Indianapolis. Visibility not an issue. Beautiful moon on my drive into work here this morning, and check that out. Otherwise, just clear skies for you. No real weather-related issues. To the north, there's a little more in the way of some cloud cover, but you notice the direction it's going. It's pushing to the north, so really not going to impact us much here throughout the course of the morning. It's not producing any rain. There is some rain off to our west. That's a cold front, and that's what arrives tomorrow, bringing an end to this nice warmth that we've had, and it also brings rain back into the forecast. But for today, it's bright, it's beautiful. Temperatures quickly through the 60s into the 70s by the noon hour, with high temperatures later on today, Lauren, approaching 80 degrees.
Wow. All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. Here's a look in the downtown area near the North Split. This is I-65, a view from St. Clair Street, where traffic is moving along up to speed this morning. We did have a report of a crash on 65 and 465 on the down on the south side, but our crew headed that way and everything is now clear, so that is good news for your morning commute. This morning, several schools across central Indiana are changing their schedules because of a surge in COVID-19 cases. Greenwood Middle and High School students will begin hybrid learning schedule today. Elementary students will not be affected and will still remain in class the classroom 5 days a week. Franklin Community Schools will move to phase 2 of their hybrid schedule for middle and high school students. Hybrid learning models will begin at the middle school and high schools in Indian Creek and Edinburgh. Also, Whiteland High School and Clark Pleasant Middle School will temporarily move to a hybrid learning model. Now, despite that information, another Johnson County school is not making any changes as of yet. Center Grove schools will continue the year completely in person. In an email to the parents in the district, the leaders say that the metrics don't support a change, as only 2% of their students are currently out for COVID-related absences. The email also says the academic and mental health impacts of e-learning also weighed heavily into their decision. District leaders said that they will continue to monitor the cases and told parents to make a plan and be ready just in case they do move to a hybrid learning model. New Palestine High School is also switching to virtual learning. Parents received a notification of the change on Saturday. This comes after administrators received notification of 6 positive COVID-19 tests for students and staff at the school last week. The superintendent there says that contact tracing has been complete and all families involved have been notified. For now, the plan is to stay virtual until at least November 30th. Bartholomew County Schools will also move to an e-learning model. This will last through Tuesday, November 24th, the last day before Thanksgiving break. In a statement, the district says that the spread of COVID-19 in the community making it difficult to continue normal operating procedures like staffing buildings and providing bus routes. The plan as of now is to return to in-person and remote learning options Monday the 30th. At 4:34, let's take a closer look now at the numbers this morning. State health officials report more than 4,000 new cases of COVID-19. On Sunday, 4,689 cases were reported. That follows a record high day of more than 5,000 cases reported Saturday. It also marks the third day in a week more than 4,000 cases were reported in a single day. State health officials also report 36 additional Hoosier deaths related to COVID-19. To date, 4,383 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. This month alone accounts accounts for 290 Hoosier deaths. As cases continue to rise, we're keeping a close eye on hospitalizations and hospital resources across the state. As of this morning, more than 2,000 people are hospitalized with COVID-19 or suspected cases of COVID across the state. Just over 30% of the ICU beds remain available in Indiana, and about 77% of ventilators are still available here. This morning, state health officials are renewing their call for retired healthcare workers to help relieve staff of Indiana's hospitals and long-term care facilities as a number of hospitalizations and new infections across the state continue to spike at record highs. Staffing issues continue to be the greatest challenge, according to the state health commissioner, Dr. Christina Box. During last week's coronavirus update, Dr. Box said that healthcare workers in Indiana are swamped and needing support now more than ever.
Perhaps the greatest strain right now is on our hospital workforce, which is in the 9th month now of responding to this pandemic and facing the greatest patient load yet. They are frankly exhausted. They're quarantined or in a family quarantine. They're juggling home issues just like the rest of us, like hybrid schooling. And some have even lost coworkers and family members to this disease. This all takes an incredible toll. Quite frankly, our frontline healthcare workers are exhausted. They need our support now more than ever, both emotionally and physically.
Both Dr. Box and Governor Eric Holcomb said Wednesday that they appreciate all that healthcare workers are doing, but emphasized that we all should extend our gratitude and do our part by wearing masks, practicing social distancing, and washing our hands. So let's turn now to the latest from Washington. With no concession in sight and plans from President Trump to contest election results, the 2020 election may not be over yet. Sources say the Trump campaign is casting doubt on the election results. Part of their strategy includes voter fraud. There has not been any evidence uncovered to verify those claims yet. Another idea is to replace electoral college members in states that don't legally require electors to reflect the will of the voters, but time is ticking. On December 8th, the safe harbor deadline kicks in. That's when governors of states where election results were contested have to send in an explanation on how their state reached its final results. Those results will be considered when the Electoral College meets on December 14th to vote. Those votes must then be delivered to the state district courts by December 23rd in time for Congress to count the votes in January. Now, meanwhile, Joe Biden, who won the Electoral College to become the president-elect, is already putting a transition team into place. Part of that team includes his own coronavirus task force. It will consist of a team of 12 to be headed by 3 co-chairs, former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, former FDA Commissioner David Kessler, and Yale University's Dr. Marcella Nunez-Smith. As for the other members, we'll have to wait until Biden's announcement later today. We'll continue to help you stay on top of the very latest information with ABC News team coverage and WRTV.com. You can find everything you need to know by going to WRTV.com/election2020. New employment opportunities are opening up. This morning, we're bringing them to you in our Hiring Hoosiers job feed. IU Health is hosting a virtual hiring event this week in an effort to fill hundreds of open and critical positions. Hospital system is looking to add 700 nurses and medical assistants across the state. There's a particular focus on hiring registered nurses and medical assistants right now, so we spoke to the chief medical officer of IU Health Methodist and University Hospitals. He tells us staffing and people are his biggest concern as the pandemic continues.
Our team members are part of our community, and the community rates that we're seeing are also affecting our team members. So we know that some of our team members are going to be sick, and we are working to try to resource some of the additional staff that we can, as well as looking for some external resources. Now, everybody across the country is looking for those same resources, so that's really unprecedented demand right now.
Well, you can find out more information about the virtual hiring event by going to hiringhoosiers.com. The Indiana Department of Correction is also trying to fill a number of open positions right now. The agency will host its second of 3 virtual hiring events this month. The next job fair is set for Thursday, November 12th at 3:30 p.m. A final hiring event of the month will be held November 18th. You can find even more positions that are open by going to the job board on hiringhoosiers.com and also the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. Well, they've been falling for weeks now in the city of Indianapolis. They're ready to start picking up the leaves that you've been raking, blowing, and bagging. DPW crews are starting their leaf collection today. Pickup will run through Friday, December 4th. If you want DPW to pick up your leaves, you're asked to put them in plastic bags and keep them at least 3 feet away from your regular trash leaf bags. The leaf bags should be outside by 7 a.m. on your normal trash day. You can leave up to 40 bags of leaves for pickup per week. Residents should also remember that burning leaves is illegal here in Marion County as it releases harmful particles into our air. Well, the world is remembering Jeopardy host Alex Trebek. Just after the break, we'll take a look back at his incredible legacy. And it's a scam alert you need to know about today, how thieves are using the pandemic to steal your information and money. Todd.
And as we go throughout the day today, it's all about the warmth that's heading our way once again. In fact, for the second day in a row, potentially a record high temperature. The cold front off to our west, that arrives tomorrow. We'll talk about the warmth and the rain chances heading our direction as we progress throughout the week. Coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
This morning, tributes are still rolling in for former Jeopardy host Alex Trebek. He died on Sunday after battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Born in Canada, Trebek became one of the most recognizable names in American homes. He began hosting Jeopardy in 1984 and worked until the very end of his life. In the middle of Jeopardy's 18th season, he made headlines when he shaved his signature mustache. Trebek was known for his generous spirit, often giving back to his community and making a huge impact on the Jeopardy contestants' lives, and they had a similar impact on his.
I'm an immigrant, and like a lot of immigrants, we have a hard time learning English. And so growing up, my grandfather would sit me on his lap and we'd watch you, and I credit you for my perfect diction. So thank you.
What is, we love you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Cost you $19.95. You're left with $5, okay.
Put into terms what these fans mean to you, fans of the show.
They are the most important elements in my life outside of my family and friends. I can't help but be touched by what they have to say.
Well, Jeopardy wasn't his only gig. The husband and father of 3 also hosted the National Geography Bee. For 25 years, Trebek's Jeopardy episodes will air through Christmas. And later this morning, Good Morning America will celebrate the life and legacy of Alex Trebek with some of your favorite Jeopardy champions sharing their memories live. Well, the time right now is 4:45. Despite making historic gains in the U.S. House of Representatives during the 2018 midterms, Democrats were not able to expand their majority last week. At least 7 Democrats lost House seats, and the GOP held firm in many suburban areas that the Democrats were hoping to win. As for control of the Senate, all eyes now are on Georgia. Incumbent Republicans Senator Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are in a tight runoff race against Democrats Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, respectively. The Peach State hasn't had a Democratic senator in 20 years. The current Senate split is 48-48. That's because races in Alaska and North Carolina are still too close to call. Meanwhile, in Puerto Rico, voters there approved a ballot measure to make the island the newest U.S. state. Residents narrowly favored statehood with 52% in favor of the move. This was actually the 6th time Puerto Ricans voted on statehood. In the past, independence and Commonwealth has also been included as options. As a Commonwealth island, they would have a relationship with the U.S. while still having some independence. The non-binding referendum is not expected to change Puerto Rico's status anytime soon, however. Congress has the final decision of whether or not to add Puerto Rico as a state. Parts of north central Montana are dealing with blizzard-like conditions. It caused power outages and multiple crashes in the area. You can see how snow-covered the roads are here in this video. By noon local time on Sunday, the city of Havre saw 11.5 inches of snowfall. Some areas are expected to see snow drifts at 2 to 3 foot range. The storm there has gusts of 40 to 60 miles an hour and visibility that will be near 0 at times. Blizzard warnings are still in effect there as of this morning. And then back here in central Indiana, Todd, we're dealing with some record high temperatures. It kind of feels like we're in the middle of summer.
You know, the complete opposite of what they're seeing out west. There are a lot of places, not only in Montana, that saw saw some snow. Colorado, Utah saw some snow. Even parts of the higher elevations in California saw some snow. I saw Lake Arrowhead in California there, and down to the south had snow yesterday as well. We, as Lauren mentioned, have been enjoying a lot of warmth across the area. The Monon yesterday completely packed in Indianapolis, and rightfully so, with everybody out there and enjoying a record high temperature yesterday. 59 as you get going here this morning. The winds are calm, and all things, our systems go here for another beautiful day for us across the area. 61 in Bloomington, Martinsville right now. It's 56 in Tipton. Muncie sitting at 60 degrees, and over in the Richmond area we are at 48. So throughout the day today, skies will be partly to mostly sunny across the area. And keep in mind, our normal high temperature is 56 degrees now this time of year. We're above that in many locations, and everybody will be above it here throughout the middle half of the morning. By 11 a.m., 69 degrees. Your noontime temperature is 72, and then easily into the mid-70s. In some areas, we'll be approaching 80 degrees this afternoon, and that would be another record high. The forecast high about 78 today in Indianapolis. The record is 76. And then even tomorrow, before the cold front arrives, it's going to be very close to a record high temperature, with highs getting up into the mid-70s. So as we go throughout the course of the next 24 to 48 hours, get outside and try to enjoy this warmth. It doesn't get terrible once the front goes through. It's just going to be more seasonable and a lot cooler. Just a little bit of cloud cover this morning, scooting to the north. Here is the cold front off to our west, and that'll head our way. And look at the temperatures behind that front. Now, we're not getting into the 20s. You don't have to worry about that, but it will get a lot cooler here across the area. This evening, sun sets at 5:34, partly cloudy skies, still nice and mild. Temperatures falling from the 70s into the 60s. And then for the day tomorrow, most of the day is going to be dry. You'll notice the clouds increase and it turns a little breezy. But we're still looking at temperatures that'll be up into the mid-70s. But as we go throughout the day, there could be a stray shower before sunset, but it's really hit or miss. And then the cold front will come through, but the cold front doesn't come through until late Tuesday into early Wednesday, with a round of showers and maybe a few thunderstorms. But at this point, not expecting any severe weather. Behind that front, it's cooler, and it's going to feel a lot colder, obviously going from the 70s into the 50s. But those temperatures actually average for this time of year. After the rain on Tuesday, next rain chance not till the weekend. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is I-69 up at State Road 37 in the Fishers area. Good morning to you in Hamilton County. Traffic here is pretty quiet this morning. No issues to slow you down. Of course, we'll continue to monitor your roads and keep you updated. Now to a consumer warning for you. The Better Business Bureau says that scammers are trying to steal your information by sending out invites to participate in fake coronavirus studies. Here's what you need to know. According to BBB, scammers send out text messages and emails promoting fake clinical trials. In them, they claim the study pays upwards of $1,000. You're directed to a link that you need to click on to take part in. But once you do, the BBB says that malware downloads into your computer or your mobile device. That gives scammers access to usernames, passwords, and other personal information like your government ID or bank account numbers. BBB says that the real medical researchers would never ask for that kind of information during a screening. Royal Caribbean International needs your help to test out safety protocols on their cruise ships. The cruise line is seeking volunteers for trial voyages. The goal is to see in new safety measures if they meet the CDC requirements. Right now, Royal Caribbean is still trying to lay out more concrete details about how these trial voyages will work, and no word yet on what qualifications you'll need to apply. The cruise industry is struggling to get back on its feet after taking a hard financial blow from the coronavirus pandemic. Last week, U.S. Cruise Lines canceled regular voyages for the rest of the year. Well, it is that time of the year again. Oprah's annual list of her favorite things is back, and this year the media mogul put a spotlight on Black-owned and Black-led businesses. The 2020 list includes 72 items. Some of the highlights are Telfar, a company that sells affordable vegan leather handbags. There's also the popular By Sherry initial rings, and one of the more pricier items on her list, a Samsung Terrace TV. Now, this luxe television can be hung outside, and it's made to withstand rain, snow, and extreme heat. You can find the full list of Oprah's favorite things on her website. A hair-raising competition out in Florida is being called the Olympics of hairstyling. You can see the works of art coming right up. And still to come here on Good Morning Indiana, new developments in the Drajon Reed case at 5, when we could learn the findings from a grand jury. It's 4:51 on your Monday. Stick around. We'll be right back. It is 4:55, and take a look at this on your screen. These are not just hairdos, they're works of art at the Salon Bella Flora in Palm Harbor, Florida. The salon owner, Flora Pasik-Laskis, used to travel the world competing in haircutting and styling competitions. So as a way to boost her staff's morale this year, she decided to hold her own competition at the salon. The theme was fantasy. For some of the stylists, it was their first time participating in this type of event. For others, it was a trip down memory lane, but all of them said it was fun. It was just the fun boost, rather, that they needed. Those are pretty wild. And then out in China, a toddler's amazing skills have netted him massive social media following. Wow, check out this pint-sized ping pong pro. He's only 3 years old, and just look at him go there. His skills have earned him fans all across social media. According to his family, the boy has been practicing since he was just an infant. He's had help, and his grandmother is a former professional table tennis player and his trainer. All right, Grandma, she's training the next pro, I think. Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Way better than either of us could be at this.
You know, I see my problem right now, Lauren.
Yeah.
I always just used one side of the paddle. He's using both. He's going back and forth.
I hold it almost like a tennis racket, too, so he's got the right technique.
No wonder why I always hit it off the end of the
Right.
table. All right, making sense now, but he is amazing and only 3 years old.
Wow.
All right, here's a 7-day planning forecast. That's going to feature, first, a lot of warmth and potential record high temperatures today and tomorrow. The cold front goes through late Tuesday into Wednesday. Following the passage of that cold front, it's much cooler. Our high temperatures drop about 20 to 25 degrees, but 56 is where we should be this time of year for your high temperature, so it becomes very seasonable as the week progresses. An overall pretty dry week, just that rain late in the day on a Tuesday. The time now is 4:57. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.